Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera bagi kita semua. Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, dan salam kebajikan. Perkenalkan, saya Uci Elly Kholidah, dosen di program studi S1 Sastra Inggris Universitas Negeri Surabaya. Saya menyelesaikan pendidikan S1 di Sastra Inggris Fakultas Humaniora Universitas Islam Negeri Maulana Malik Ibrahim Malang dan melanjutkan S2 Ilmu Sastra Fakultas Ilmu Budaya di Universitas Gadjah Mada. Pada video kali ini, saya akan memperkenalkan salah satu mata kuliah yang saya ampu, yaitu Introduction to Literature. Mata kuliah ini merupakan mata kuliah wajib untuk mahasiswa semester 2 yang dirancang untuk memberikan pemahaman dasar mengenai apa itu sastra, serta bagaimana kita menganalisis karya sastra baik dari unsur intrinsik maupun ekstrinsik. Melalui pembelajaran berbasis case study, mahasiswa diajak untuk berpikir kritis dan kreatif dalam menelaah karya-karya sastra, mulai dari prosa, puisi, hingga drama, sekaligus diajak untuk lebih peka terhadap isu-isu sosial, budaya, dan kemanusiaan yang selaras dengan Sustainable Development Goals atau SDGs, khususnya SDG nomor 4 tentang pendidikan bermutu dan SDG nomor 10 tentang mengurangi ketimpangan. Integrasi SDG nomor 4 dan SDG nomor 10 dalam mata kuliah ini bertujuan agar mahasiswa tidak hanya mampu memahami aspek estetika dan struktur karya sastra, tetapi juga dapat mengidentifikasi dan merefleksikan nilai-nilai keadilan yang sosial, akses pendidikan yang inklusif, serta pentingnya pengurangan ketimpangan yang ada dalam teks sastra maupun kehidupan sehari-hari. Dengan demikian, pembelajaran sastra dapat menjadi sarana untuk menumbuhkan empati, toleransi, serta kesadaran akan pentingnya kontribusi sastra dalam pembangunan berkelanjutan dan masyarakat yang lebih adil. Beberapa capaian pembelajaran lulusan atau CPL yang menjadi dasar mata kuliah ini adalah: pertama, mahasiswa diharapkan mampu memahami, menganalisis, dan menginterpretasikan karya sastra dari berbagai genre dan moda komunikasi. Kedua, mampu mengaplikasikan teori dan konsep budaya untuk menganalisis serta merespons fenomena sosial budaya yang ada dalam teks sastra. Dan ketiga, mampu menunjukkan kemampuan berbahasa Inggris setara CEFR level B2 baik secara lisan maupun tulisan. Untuk minggu kedua ini, fokus pembelajaran adalah pada analisis karya fiksi, khususnya cerpen Polity karya John Galsworthy. Di sini, mahasiswa akan berlatih menganalisis unsur intrinsik seperti tema, tokoh, alur dan setting, serta unsur ekstrinsik seperti latar sosial, budaya, dan konteks sejarah yang memengaruhi cerita. Melalui analisis ini, mahasiswa juga diajak untuk menemukan dan mendiskusikan pesan-pesan sosial seperti pentingnya keadilan, kemanusiaan, akses pendidikan, serta pengurangan ketimpangan yang relevan dengan tujuan SDG nomor 4 dan SDG nomor 10. Referensi utama yang digunakan dalam mata kuliah ini antara lain: yang pertama, An Introduction to Literature, Fiction, Poetry, and Drama, karya Barnett, Sylvan, William Bruno, and William A. Kane. Yang kedua, Literature, Introduction to Fiction, Poetry, and Drama, karya Kennedy and Joya. Pembelajaran selain tatap muka, kami juga menggunakan e-learning dari Sidia. Metode evaluasi meliputi tugas tertulis, proyek kelompok, dan partisipasi kelas untuk memastikan pemahaman yang komprehensif. Proyek kelompok bertujuan untuk melatih mahasiswa menganalisis karya sastra, khususnya cerita pendek, dengan mengidentifikasi dan menghubungkan unsur intrinsik dan ekstrinsik melalui diskusi dan presentasi kelompok. Mahasiswa diharapkan mampu berpikir kritis, berkomunikasi efektif, serta mengaitkan pemahaman sastra dengan konteks sosial dan budaya yang lebih luas. Kegiatan ini juga mendukung pengembangan kemampuan kolaborasi sesuai dengan capaian pembelajaran. Target akhir dari mata kuliah ini adalah mahasiswa dapat berpikir kritis, terampil menganalisis karya sastra, serta mampu mengaitkan teori sastra dengan konteks budaya dan sosial secara relevan. Tentunya juga dapat menyampaikan pendapat secara aktif dan argumentatif, baik secara lisan maupun tulisan. Demikian pengenalan singkat dari saya untuk mata kuliah Introduction to Literature. Selanjutnya, mari kita mulai pembahasan minggu kedua, yaitu analisis cerpen quality dengan pendekatan unsur intrinsik, ekstrinsik, dan refleksi pada isu-isu SDG, terutama SDG nomor 4 dan SDG nomor 10. Selamat menyaksikan dan selamat belajar. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon, ma'am.
As you can see here, we are in week 2 of our course Introduction to Literature. But before we start our meeting, let's pray together according to your belief and your religion. Pray start. Finish. Okay, thank you. Okay, as usual, is everybody here? Yes, right. So I'll tick the attendance list first. Okay, last week actually it will be our first meeting on Introduction to Literature. But today we are going to talk about intrinsic and ekstrinsik. So what is actually you can highlight when we have the word intrinsic and extrinsic? Intrinsic means inside. Extrinsic means outside. Okay, that's good. I don't think that you need to follow my course, so please leave. Okay, just joking. Okay, the first is we hope that you can analyze given literary work here, of course, Quality by John Galsworthy, using intrinsic and extrinsic elements. And the next is the students able to answer all oral question in a class discussion about intrinsic and extrinsic elements. The third is the students able to demonstrate quality of ideas, organization, language use, and critical thinking in their analysis later on. And the last one is the students able to actively participate in group project and class activities related to this material. Before we jump to this material, as I mentioned earlier, so have you had several short stories that become your favorite one? Yes, please. Yes, boys. Yeah.
I once read The Monkey's Paw.
Yep.
And I read it once, but it's already captivated me.
Oh, why it is captivated?
The story is so good, and the plot is really that good.
Oh, okay.
Big writing.
Figurative.
Big writing.
Oh, big writing.
Yes.
Oh, big writing. Okay. What about the creepy situation in Monkey's Paw? You know, it's a little bit haunted, right? Do you still remember about the situation, the nuance in Monkey's Paw related to curse and talisman? Do you know talisman? Yes. In Indonesian we have jimat. If we want to translate it, talisman is jimat in Indonesia. Okay, that's good idea to talk about Monkey's Paw. The other, please. Okay, next, please.
I'm curious to read short stories from Notion.
Okay.
There is this author in Twitter, and she posted the Notion in
Oh,
Twitter now.
wait. What is Notion actually?
Notion is like an app that you can upload your stories or whatever, like journaling or whatever. And this author uploads her stories to make like a universe of her characters, like several characters.
I see.
And I've read one of them, and the story is captivating because I personally like romance.
Oh.
And it's about their romance and their development of the characters.
Okay.
So the characters' name is Kazi and
Kazi?
Kaya.
Yeah.
Kazi
Kazi and Kaya.
And they have like forbidden relationship because her parents did not approve.
Secret love.
Yes.
Yeah.
But her parents did not approve their relationship. At the end, they ended up marrying each other.
Oh, That's lovely, right? But also I learned something new from you. You know, you are Z generation that is always related to, you know, digitalization, and this is something new because actually I always deal with something physical, right? Just like short stories, and I always go to Periplus or Gramedia when I want to read something and buy the physical book, but here it's something new. You mentioned about the Notion. I also have ever heard about a Wattpad. Have you ever used that? Yeah. And yeah, what is the abbreviation of the long alternative universe? Yeah. Thank you for sharing your short stories. Here we have the definition of intrinsic and extrinsic. As I mentioned earlier, you mentioned earlier when it comes with intrinsic, so it's all about inside, while extrinsic, so it will be about something that is outside. Here the definition of intrinsic elements. Intrinsic elements are the internal component that build and shape literary work from within the text itself. So the key word is from within the text itself. While extrinsic element factors, it deals with factors outside the text that influence the creation, interpretation, or meaning of a literary work. Okay, this is intrinsic elements in fiction. Why I mention it in fiction? In week 2, we are going to use Quality by John Galsworthy as our literary work. That's why I mention here fiction, not in poetry or in drama. Of course, in poetry and drama, we have different literary devices, especially for poetry. This is the definition. I think I just want to give this as the reminder. So it deals with the word within. Jadi, and the example of intrinsic element, we have theme, characters, plot, setting, point of view, and moral or message or massage. Just be careful. Massage is something that has a deal with, relaxing, but message is something that deals with something that you need to convey, right? Yeah. Okay. My simple question: why here I have plural form? Theme, characters, plot, setting, point of view, moral, or message. Have you ever wondered why it should be plural form for characters?
Because there is many characters inside.
Exactly. That's how it works. So in one short story, even in this short story, we have several characters, right? But for the theme and the other thing, we only have one. Do you get it?
Yes.
And this one, that's why we have plural form. Okay. Mention one intrinsic elements in certain literary works. Is there anyone want to share? Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna mention the characters from movie Cinderella.
Ah, yeah, interesting.
The characters like Cinderella, the stepsister,
Yep.
and then her stepmother,
Yep.
her dad.
Don't forget the other main character, the prince, right? Yeah. Yes, the fairy, of course. Yep. Yeah. Thank you for mentioning about Cinderella, and don't forget the prince. That's the main characters. Okay. The next is about extrinsic elements in fiction. So I think again I want to review this one. So the definition is elements from outside the story that influence its creation. This is several examples that we can use in external or extrinsic elements. We have author backgrounds, social conditions, cultural context, historical background, political or economic influence. Okay. Why do you think that, let's say, just one author's background is influencing the work or their work? Let's proceed to this one. Okay, mention one extrinsic element in certain literary work. Again, the literary work is up to you. Yes. Yeah, lady.
I think I need to mention the cultural context in the short story of the analysis.
Yep.
The author satirizes the sort of cultural that women should be stay loyal to their husband even when they die.
Okay.
The story, the first part, the widow begins to mourn and even does not believe and keep herself beside her husband's tomb. And after that, her shift sort of becomes sudden because suddenly she doesn't want to stay loyal. Suddenly she found this newfound love, and it just goes to show that this cultural cultural context doesn't really allude to actual reality.
Okay, so I would say that the author wants to provoke the society itself, right? So it's just like the opposite one, because at that time the culture said something different, right? But unfortunately, she or he, the author, think that okay, I could write something different. This is what we call as reading across the line, writing across the line. So you are not following the society's expectation, the society's stereotype, but you try to have and cross the line. So yeah, that's something important. I also mentioned about the cultural context here. Thank you, lady. Next is, okay, this is the key differences. Understanding both allows us to appreciate literature on multiple levels. What I meant by multiple levels is, of course, by analyzing intrinsic and extrinsic, we can see how a story is not just a product of imagination. Sometimes what for you have to write something because it's just like in your imagination, right? Yes. It is not only a product of imagination, but also a reflection of its time, society, and even the personal belief of its creator. Okay. Why it is important? Of course, here, develop critical thinking, not just about literature, but also about the message and values embedded in text. And the next is promotes empathy and cultural awareness, helps us to see the world from different perspective. I've never been in England, but because I love Harry Potter, I can have particular imagination on England itself, right? That's why it's important to have cultural awareness from my I would say my first love in novel is Harry Potter novels. I have the English version almost all coming from England. I asked my friends to send it to Indonesia because I want to have the English version, even it's not the first publication, even it's not in first publication. This is something that we need to know, that literature is not only about imagination or something that deals with, probably it deals with something fun, but the message is deeper than that. Okay, different perspective and become more empathetic readers. The next is improve communication skill, encourage us to express our idea clearly, listen to others and build argument. The last one is making reading more meaningful. reading becomes more engaging and meaningful. Sometimes you also have, okay, this opinion, okay, this movie has this similar plot with my life or my friends' experience. The next is, okay, let's have group assignment here. Work in small group, 2 or 3 students, and you need to observe quality by John Galsworthy. I think last week I have already shared the soft file. It's better for you to have the printed version, but if you do not have the printed version, that will be fine. You can open your phone or your laptop or your tablet. This is something that you need to do. Identify and explain at least 2 intrinsic elements found in the story, and 2, identify and explain at least 2 extrinsic elements, and you need to prepare a short presentation, 2 or 3 minutes, to share your findings with the class. Okay, let's have group division. We can have Alin's group over there, right? Rama's group over there, and I think Anggita, you need to work with and Jani, right? Yeah, and we have one group over there. Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, what about this group? What extrinsic elements that you want to highlight? Cultural, yeah, cultural context, yeah. Why? Fast fashion, interesting. Since fast fashion finally smashed, like the quality itself. Of course, we want to have something that having a good quality, but unfortunately, it's just like wrapped up by fast fashion. So yeah, that's a good idea to talk about that. Good luck then. Make it a very short presentation. We only have 2 and 3 minutes on your presentation later on. First, okay. Who will be the representative of this group? Yep, please.
Okay, in the short story Quality by John Galsworthy, we see a strong message about staying true to one idea or ideals. The theme, the theme centers around Mr. Galsworthy's dedication to describe making goods with incredible care, even when the work no longer values such a paper that Mr. Galsworthy put that to his creation. And for intrinsic elements, we focus on the theme and the characters. Mr. Galsworthy is not just a shoemaker; he's an artist.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's deeply committed to his work. And the narrators, the second character I did say, the narrator is help us to understand his quiet strengths, looking at the extreme side. The social context show how difficult it was for a small artist to survive in an industrial society. Economically, it also criticized how capitalism can cross those borders that even they offer a true quality, like Mr. Galsworthy needs to adapt in there. The shoes beside together is crossed with a new brand one store, but Mr. Galsworthy still stick to his pride that is with making shoes, but yeah, he suffered from that. And in the end, Mr. Galsworthy starved himself to what he loved, and the story becomes a powerful reminder of how society often overlooks the beauty of the true craftsmanship in the rush of convenience and the progress.
Okay, thank you, Alin. Yeah, I spot several keywords that is mentioned by first group, yeah, Alin especially. The first is artist, right? Remember, we have a different term if we are talking about artist. Artist in English definition, it deals with seniman in Indonesia, while here artist is selebritas, right? Yeah. Yes, it deals with something famous. Yeah, I agree with you. The other thing that I want to highlight in Alin's performance, Alin's group result is capitalization. Yeah, this is how the industrialization, especially, finally smash the quality itself. We finally, one of your friends talk about fast fashion. Even it is not reflected through that time, but now we also experience it. Even it is, even the short stories published in 1990s, right, something like that. But unfortunately, we also still experience those things. So yeah, thank you, Alin, for sharing this presentation. And this is okay. This is also something interesting. You have a mark on industrial expansion and modernization revolution, and of course, since this is something interesting. You mentioned about the era. That's why it could be using economic influence when you are talking about industrial expansion and industrial capitalization. But remember, if you want to have this as your approach, you need to mention the data, right? So where you are taking this reference, for the example, from what book or expert opinion, you need to mention it. So if you just mention this one without any, without citing any other data or resource, it means that you are giving your claim. It's just an argument. We couldn't justify your arguments. Again, in academic sphere, we couldn't do that. Later on, yeah, but that's a good thing. You mentioned about the year, and also you know what happened to that year. That's interesting. Okay, I think our time is almost up. But before that, I want to talk about your reflection on our study. Do you know what is Padlet? Padlet. You need to scan this one first. Wait a minute. Okay, it will be directed you into this. This one. So I need you to mention what did you learn about intrinsic element. You need to click this one, add pause. Here, you need to mention, for the example, Lily. I think our time is up. Thank you for today's session. I found something interesting. I learned something new from you, especially that deals with something that is acceptable for your generation. So it will be easier for us to build interactive communication through our lecturing session. Okay, thank you very much for today. I think we can pray first before we leave the class. Pray start. Finish. Thank you for your coming. Have a nice day. See you next week. Bye bye.
Thank you.